Dinner party etiquette. I'm Gloria Starr, International Etiquette Coach. When you're invited to a dinner party, it is important to respond, and ideally in writing. If you have received the invitation by email, you could respond by email. And of course, at the end of the party and the following day, you would want to send a handwritten thank you note on a lovely card. So, arrive at the dinner party in a timely fashion. Don't arrive before the appointed hour, but it is good to arrive within 10 minutes of the appointed time. Usually at a dinner party, particularly in North America, hors d'oeuvres and drinks might be served, and prior to going to the table, you would never take your beverage, alcoholic or otherwise, to the table. You would either finish it while you're in the meet and greet area and social time of the pre-dinner event, or you would set the drink down and move to the table. You will be indicated as to where you wish to be seated by the host, and the host usually sits at the main end of the table with her highest guest of honor on her right and the second highest guest of honor on her left, and you would be seated, if you are the guest of honor, accordingly. So the host would indicate that the meal is about to begin and everyone would gather around. Then you would pull your chair out and sit in the chair so that your back is not leaning against the back of the chair, but that you are sitting straight up and that your feet are flat on the floor. Do not pick up your napkin until the host does so, and that indicates that the meal is about to begin. Small talk during the meal is vital, and there are topics of conversation that would be appropriate and others that would not. So something light and entertaining and of interest to more than the person sitting beside you. If it's a small dinner party of 6 or 8, you would have the opportunity and responsibility to interact with all of the guests. At a much larger party, you would only be responsible to interact with the person on either side of you and the people directly across the table from you. When it's time to leave the party or leave the table, let's start there, then the host would indicate that the meal is finished when she puts her napkin up on the table and pushes her chair back, and she might say, "Would you like to join me in the drawing room for tea or coffee or a glass of port," whatever the situation is and what's appropriate based on the culture. So the guests would move away from the table, and there would be some social gathering time there. And within maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes after a dinner party, the guests would leave and excuse themselves. And you never leave a party without saying thank you to the people that invited you. And you would then leave graciously, so not to detain the host, and then you would depart and say thank you. And if you are the guest of honor, no one else can leave that party before you leave the party. So as the guest of honor, you would realize it was time to leave. You would say your goodbyes to the host, hostess, and the other guests, and then you would leave. And then shortly after that, the other guests would then leave as well. So that's just a few tips about guest and host responsibility at a personal dinner party. Gloria Starr, the etiquette coach of choice.